I've been so alone ever since I left the tribe. That's just how it goes, guess I like the lonely vibe.
This is going to be the next episode of Absolute Tech, talking about Total Wireless. So, I was with Verizon for a pretty long time, and I was trying to find something obviously cheaper. Um, I kind of live more out in the country area, so really the only thing out here is AT&T and Verizon coverage. I think sometimes you can't even get T-Mobile out here at all. Actually, the more I think about it, you can't even get T-Mobile at all. Sprint, it's in and out on certain areas around here. I mean, I know most of the time you walk into a house, it's gone. So my main thing is I was looking for a company that used Verizon network that's quite a bit cheaper. Okay, and I do believe I found that company, which is Total Wireless. But when I go to look on the internet, there's really not a lot of information about Total Wireless. That's a big thing with me is that I'm wanting to find, I was wanting to find more information about it, which I never really did. There's a lot of bad reviews on their Facebook page, and I mean pretty much what I found out is if you're going to get this company and you're looking into this company, you're going to deal with foreigners on the phone all day long. So, I mean, sometimes they're hard to understand, sometimes they're easier to understand. Um, I mean, if you can deal with that and you know a little bit about phones, I mean, you need to know what your IMEI number is because they're going to ask for it, especially if you're porting in your phone. Now, if you buy their phones, I've noticed that this process is going to be much easier. But I mean, I buy my own phones and bring them over, because obviously, let's look at their phones real fast. They don't have like the greatest selection of phones out there. They don't have the greatest selection. So I mean, LG 5. I mean that's not a too bad phone. I'm not a big guy, big on Android SE. Sorry. So and that's about the only I guess iPhone 5S reconditioned. Oh, they do got the iPhone 6, $400, which that's not too awfully bad. Nexus. I mean, I'm a big Nexus fan. Not a big Samsung fan, but I mean, them ain't too bad. Now, these are also phones during this recording, which the date is January 4th, 2017. So, I mean, these are obviously going to change. But I mean, yeah, they got a lot lower end phones. If you don't want to spend a lot of money on a phone, I mean, looks like they're starting smartphone is $19, which is pretty dirt cheap. Now, I mean, if it was me looking for a lower end phone, I would recommend LG phones. I've played with a few of the lower LG phones, and they seem to be a lot better than other lower end phones. And then you got your old time flip phones, if that is what you're into. Okay, so you guys see the phones, but again, though, you can bring any Verizon compatible phone. Okay, that has to have CDMA network into it, which CDMA is what Verizon uses and Sprint. But I mean, it has to have the Verizon side on there as well. I mean, I want to say most Sprint phones would work, you know. But anyways, you get really good coverage. Let's look at the coverage real fast. So you get a load up. All right, this is your coverage. I mean, this is almost identical to Verizon. Now, this is native Verizon, which is what their prepaid uses. Okay, so right here, these little spots are usually covered in on Verizon contract. Accurate, I live up in Indiana. So, I mean, again, all besides this little dot up there is covered. I live more of right in this area. So, I mean, I'm all covered I don't have to, I mean, if I leave, obviously, leave state, I definitely need to plan for these areas if that's what was going to happen. But again, for now, I don't leave state very often, and I am more than happy with the coverage. I mean, I had Verizon contract right before this in my area, and I haven't noticed any difference in my phone right now. I mean, the coverage is neck and neck. Okay. So when I go to the plans now, let me brace this for you. I was paying $120 for 2 phones on Verizon. Both my phones are paid off. All right, whatever it is monthly for each phone, which could vary on your phone. But again, for 2 phones, $60 for 2 devices, obviously. Unlimited talk and text, and 8 gigabytes of data. That's literally what I had on Verizon. Literally. For half the price. Literally half the price. The voicemail, if you have an iPhone, okay, which I do, the voicemail on the iPhones, visual voicemail will not work. When you go to the phone and you hit voicemail, it's not going to show you the visual voicemail no more. Because TracFone Wireless, which is who owns Total Wireless, does not support visual voicemail. The speed of your phone is capped at 5 megabytes, and all Verizon MVNOs are. If you are not on Verizon prepaid, actual Verizon, you're talking Straight Talk, Net, I don't know if Net 10 uses it, maybe, but also Total Wireless, Page Plus, they're all capped at 5 megabytes, okay? Now again though, if you're wanting a single line, is $35 a month. That is, I don't think you'll find anything cheaper than that on the Verizon network. I just don't think you will. And again, $100 for 4 phones for 15, and then 3 phones, 12 gigabytes. That's to me, that is an amazing deal. I just like and subscribe to my page. It's Absolute Tech. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll be more than happy to answer you about Total Wireless.